Welcome everyone back to Beat the Game, and let's take a look at Valkyrie, understanding the mechanics, and also we're gonna give our opinion and our kind of like our feedback of this new Asgardian warrior that was introduced to us. So first things first, let's take a look at our hero, her alter ego sign, Brumhilde. Brumhilde has a recovery of 4. She has a hand size of 6 and a hit point of 12. She is from Asgard, so she has the Asgard trait in alter ego. She has a setup ability, set up the Death Glow upgrade aside out of play. And not this day. Action, detach Death Glow and set it aside out of play. Okay, so what does that mean? What is the Death Glow? Well, Death Glow is... Normally, every hero kit comes with 15 signature cards. The Death Glow Valkyrie actually has 16. So the Death Glow is an upgrade that is just out of play. So technically, it's there. It's always accessible when you need it. You can attach a Death Glow to an enemy, and there is a forced interrupt. When attached enemy is defeated, set this card aside out of play. All right. But if Valkyrie defeated that enemy, ready her. So this gives you a lot of incentive to defeat the enemies, whether it be minions or the villain. It actually readies you. So it's a pretty cool concept that it's a fact that you can get to ready. So that's pretty fun. Now the downside, and I think there's a lot of debate on this, is why does it cost 1? Now the reason it costs 1, if you think about it, if it costs nothing, it would be way too powerful. Imagine you're playing Ultron, there's 100 drones, and for 0, equip kill a drone, 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 and just ready kill a drone, ready kill a drone, ready kill. It would just be nonstop craziness. Now, I do admit it's pretty cool, makes it feel like she's super powerful, but that would just break the game and then make Ultron extremely easy with this character, which I think the developers did a good job of making it cost 1. It makes sense. Now, all right. Now let's see what it says in her hero form. So now that we've seen Death Glow, Valkyrie has 1 thwart, 2 attack, and 1 defense. Okay, she is an Asgard and an Avenger. She has a hand size of 5 and 12 hit points. She has Depth Perception, hero action. Play the set aside Death Glow upgrade as if it were in your hand. So technically, she always has a 6 card in hand. Technically, it's out of play. So the thing is, it's not like a card that goes back to your hand and it's a resource. It's not a resource. It's just there. It's something that is just there all the time. And you could spend your entire hand. If there's 5 minions in play and you can defeat all 5, well, technically you can spend your entire hand 5 and ready her 5 times. So attack, ready, and she can activate 6 times in a turn. That's crazy good. When you think about that, you're like, oh my god, that's so awesome. Just think about when you're playing mutagen formula and there's 4 minions in play when the game starts. Well, you start off with her. Yeah, you're not building, but you're removing all of the obstacles in your way on turn 1. So that is pretty good. Now, the only issue here is she only has an attack of 2. So the Death Glow doesn't really boost her attack. All it does is it permits her to ready if she defeats an enemy. So, okay, so again, when the developers put her in, they said, oh, wow, let's put her in aggression. And that's going to make her even more powerful. Now, logically, I like it. Now, there is a practical and an impractical thing here by having her in aggression with a thwart of 1. A lot of the cards that are presented in her kit are new aggression events. Some of them are extremely powerful. Some of them are just okay. But we'll go over that. But it does open up a really cool new strategy for aggression. So we can definitely look into that in a few minutes when we get there. But let's take a look at her hero kit before we go into more details. All right, first of all, Dragon Fang. So this is her upgrade. This is what you want on the table turn 1 if possible. So Dragon Fang is a 1 cost upgrade. It's Asgard. It's a weapon. Dragon Fang is restricted. So again, you can only have 2 restricted items unless you have the side holster. She gets +1 attack permanently, but she gets +2 attack. So it's 1 + 2. So it's not 1 plus. She gets a 1 attack, so she goes to 3. But when she attacks the villain or the enemy with the death glow, she gets an attack of +2 instead, but only when she's attacking. So again, it doesn't. There's a couple of cards that we'll talk about later that don't really synergize well with that, but it's still, you get a +2 attack. So you can kill a 4 health minion when you have the Death Glow and Dragon Fang, which is pretty good because 4 health minion is 98 or 97% of all the minions out there. So it is extremely powerful. Dragon Fang, super, super solid. Priority number 1. All right? You want to have that card as soon as possible in play. The second one, another upgrade that is restricted, it is Valkyrie Spear. All right. So here it gives her, it's a 1-cost upgrade. Valkyrie Spear is restricted. It's another Asgard and weapon. So if you thought about team building exercise, yes, just like in the Thor deck, this makes a lot of sense. Team building exercise to add to this deck. It makes sense because a lot of the cards are Asgardian cards. All right, so this is restricted. Valkyrie gets +1 defense, so she becomes a 1/2/2. And then +2 defense, so 1/2/3 if she is defending against the enemy with Death Glow attached. Okay, so this one, it's okay. Like, seriously, Valkyrie, even in a protection deck, you'll notice you don't really want to defend with her. Her defense is okay. And the +2 defense means you have to attach the Death Glow to the villain if you want to kind of benefit from that. So in a scenario where there's a lot of minions, it's good, but you're not going to be defeating the enemy a lot. And then if you attach the Death Glow to the villain, you won't be able to take it off. After that, you'll need to flip to Alter Ego, which is something that kind of bothers me a little bit. All right, so Valkyrie Spear, boom. Priority number 3. Like that spear is okay if you can get rid of it, put it on the table, leave it there. But it is definitely not a high priority item that you want. It's okay. Let's talk about another upgrade, Aragorn. Aragorn is a 2-cost upgrade, another Asgard creature. So another card for Asgard, again, team building exercise. Valkyrie gets +4 hit points and gains the aerial trait. And that is super cool because now all these aerial cards that are very powerful, they can be played with her in all the different aspects, of course. And the +4 hit points means she can go up to 16, which is just a little shy of Thor, who is at 19, I think, when he has his helmet. So it's still pretty good. And I think Thor starts with 14 +5. Yeah, exactly. So again, she's just a little bit weaker than Thor, and on many different fronts, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, so Aragorn, definitely another priority card. Priority number 1. That extra health is going to go a long way because her health is definitely a good resource to explore. All right, so there we go. And then we're going to talk about another priority 1 card, Valhalla. All right, so Valhalla is a 2-cost support card, Asgard and location. Again, you're seeing the theme with Asgard here. And it's a support, and it says a response after Valkyrie attacks and defeats the enemy that has Death Glow attached. You can exhaust Valhalla, you draw a card, and heal 1 damage from Valkyrie. Now that heal 1 is super solid. It gets you, it keeps you in hero form a little bit longer. The only thing is it's only once. So it's okay. I wish it would be like maximum 2 per round or something like that. I think that would have been amazing. But again, or just heal 1 damage. Never mind the draw card, just the heal 1 damage. Every time you kill an enemy, heal 1. I think that would have been perfect, but no limit. I think that would have made her even more powerful because I did notice when I was playing her that there's a lot of things that are like a little bit lackluster. So if she would have had a heal 1 every time she defeats an enemy, that would have been great. But again, it's only once, so I think maybe developers didn't want to abuse that. But it's only with the Death Glow, so I don't think it would have been that abusive just to have her heal 1 every time she kills an enemy. I think I think that would have been a good idea. But again, I'm not going to critique that. It's still, you get to draw a card, you get to heal one. It still works, even though it's limited. All right, so then priority number 1. So we got 3 priority number 1 cards. And then we have our final upgrade for her, which is Flight of the Valkyrie. Now, at first I thought it was Flight of the Valkyrie, but I was in my head, I was like, da 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 da, and I was just singing that nonstop. All right, so Flight of the Valkyrie is a response, and hopefully every time you play that card, you're going to be doing that little soundtrack in your head. A little bit of classic culture there. All right, so Flight of the Valkyrie, 2-cost upgrade, response. After the enemy with Death Glow is defeated, you can discard Flight of the Valkyrie and remove 5 threat from a scheme. So 2 for 5 threat is not bad. The only issue is if you put the Death Glow on the enemy, on the villain, you can only trigger this if the villain goes away. Now, the fun thing is you can have that there, you can leave it there. Also, if you equip Death Glow to another enemy, it doesn't have to be Valkyrie that defeats him. That's the good part about this. It doesn't have to be Valkyrie that defeats the enemy. It just has to be the enemy with the Death Glow. So you can discard Flight of the Valkyrie and remove 5 threat from a scheme. So that is very cool. As long as an enemy or minion is equipped with the Death Glow and this is on the table, it is a 5 threat removal whenever you choose to have it. So that I like about the card, that it's versatile. What I don't like about it as well is very minion dependent. Because if there's not a minion, how often are you going to kill the villain and then be able to trigger that? So for me, there's 2 copies of this card in the deck, so it's good. It's kind of very bursty. So hopefully you can use it and you don't get too many side schemes, because then you're like, ooh, I'm stuck. So again, I like this card. It's a priority number 2. Like I said, put them down if you got them, because at one point they're definitely going to be able to use it. All right, and then after that, we're going to talk about her signature ally, which this should never even been an ally. This should have been a support card. I don't understand. I don't like it. It's probably the first signature ally that I actually dislike. All right, so 2 cost, Annabelle Riggs, but you can make up your own mind when you see it. All right, she's got 1 thwart, 1 attack. That also bothers me. If she would have had a 2 thwart, 1 attack, I would have been fine with it. But the fact that she has 1 thwart, 1 attack, it bothers me. All right, she's a civilian. She's got 2 health, and she has an alter ego action. She says, exhaust Annabelle and search the top 5 cards of your deck for a Valkyrie card and add it to your hand. Shuffle the rest back into your deck. Now, I would have been fine with this if it wasn't an alter ego action. If it was a hero action, I would have been fine with it. The fact that it's an alter ego, this is not a character that has a lot of thwarting possibilities. So it is very counterintuitive that you have to go to alter ego to be able to get the bonus. If it was in hero form and take a damage, like give her a couple more health points, like give her 3 health or 4 health, make her like 1/1, or even make her 0/0, and just have that ability. And just like search, take a damage and search, take a damage and search. That would have been fine, but do it in hero form. The fact that it goes into alter ego really bugs me. It really, really bugs me. I don't like it. Also, you might not even find a card in the top 5, which means you've exhausted that ally for nothing without even doing anything. So, it bothers me. Like I said, it could have been, or have it in 2 ways, but there's a lot of text, and I think when I did the playtesting, we did talk about text and formatting text so it fits properly. So that's always sometimes the reason why things are written in certain ways, and sometimes the characters have these different abilities there. But again, I think this should have been a hero form action. This is my opinion. But again, it's probably my least favorite ally in the game. Often the times I'll play her once or twice as a chump blocker and just like, okay, it's a chump blocker or whatever. All right. But her ability is okay if you're in alter ego form. If you have, like, unless you're playing Justice, you can permit yourself to go in alter ego often, then you're okay. And then, okay, yeah, I get to dig for a card, which is not bad. But it's not a character that wants to go to alter ego a lot. So there you go. That's where my disappointment is a little bit with that card. And then we have Visit Valhalla, a zero cost event, which is super fun. It says alter ego action, return a Valkyrie card from your discard pile to your hand. Again, it's an alter ego action. It's a great card, but it's an alter ego card. I'm like, are you kidding me? Stop putting stuff in alter ego for this character. It is not a character that wants to go to alter ego. So the fact that this is another one, well, you can bring back your Flight of the Valkyrie. If you have to discard, let's say, Aragorn, because you couldn't pay for it, you had something else to deal with, you can bring it back. But again, if you're in hero form, you're not going to save this card, so this card is not going to get played that often. It's just annoying. It should have been something else. Now, it should have been a hero action and then choose your discard pile or pick up the first card discarded or something like that. I like that it's kind of like a graveyard recursion or discard pile recursion. It's nice. It's a nice ability on the card. I like that it's unique. I just don't like that it's an alter ego action. It just bugs me with this character, which is a very hero focused hero. A hero side focused hero. There you go. I hate that I have to do all these things in alter ego. It just bugs me. All right, well, let's move on. All right, now she has 2 copies of this card, which is called Chooser of the Slain. Now, Chooser of the Slain is a zero cost event, and it's a hero action. It says search the encounter deck and discard pile for a minion and put it to play, engage with you. And then once you find one, which is fun, is you can take a minion that you've already defeated, which is kind of weird, but it comes back. And then draw 2 cards. I like it. And again, I have a problem with this card. It says Chooser of the Slain. Now, what I would have liked is choose a discard pile, put into play, engage with you, attach Death Glow to it. That would have made this even better. Because, again, the card is okay, draw 2 cards. So basically, it's 1 for 2. So you're basically filtering your deck. It's basically you use a card to get a card, all right, and get an extra card. So that it's 1 for 2, which is okay. It's basically mystic spiritual meditation. There, it's the same thing. It's 2 for spiritual meditation is just filter 2 cards because it's draw. Yeah, use 1, draw 2, discard 1. Yeah. So that's 0. So this actually nets you a card, which is okay. But if it could have attached, I really wish that there was a way, because let's say I attach this to the villain, it's stuck on the villain. If I play Chooser of the Slain, if I could detach it from the villain and attach it to another minion, I think that would have been very logical, and it would have been a great addition to this card to make it even better. Because it's okay. This would have made it just a little bit over the top. And again, my opinion, Sir Chooser of the Slain, it's okay, but man, just these little things that bug me right now off this character. All right, so Chooser of the Slain, again, 2 copies of this, and voila. All right, let's talk about the next card that bothers me in her kit. Oh man, there's 2 copies of this. Shield Maiden, 2 copies of this card. It is a 1 cost event. Hero Interrupt. When the enemy with Death Glow when the enemy with the Death Glow attached attacks, declare Valkyrie the defender without exhausting her. She gets +2 defense for this attack. This card would have been fantastic if, all right, it didn't involve the Death Glow. Like, this would have been a great card if it didn't attach, or if it didn't involve the Death Glow. Or if it just said, Hero Interrupt. Attach the Death Glow to the attacking enemy. And then declare the blocker. Because again, if the Death Glow is attached to a minion, that has, you know, one defense or one attack. Who cares? You're not gonna. It won't matter if it's attached to the boss. That means it's a card that it makes you want to attach it to the villain. But again, to detach the deck glow, you have to go to alter ego. Or you have to kill the villain, which makes this card 100% or 50%, 90% unusable half the time. Because again, if you're playing in multiplayer, you're not going to have death glow on the villain. You're going to have it on the minions. You're going to be the minion guy. So this card is never going to get played. So again, I think just a little bit of a work around the phrasing would have made this card fantastic. It would have allowed you to manipulate the death glow a little bit more in hero form, which again, it would have been a bonus of goodness to add to this character. Because right now, most of these things, it's basically, I feel like Valkyrie is just a watered down Thor. Because Thor is just brilliant. But Valkyrie just, to me, feels like it's super washed out. I'm like, this could have been, and it would have been perfect. It would have been thematic. It would have been great. Again, attach death glow to the attacking enemy. Declare her as the blocker without exhausting. It would have been fantabulous. But, it just bugs me. It just bugs me. And then finally, her last card in her kit is 3 copies of this card, which is Have at Thee. All right, Have at Thee. It is a 3 cost hero action attack. Deals 7 damage to an enemy. If that enemy has the death glow attached, this attacks gain overkill. Again, I don't mind the card. I think it could have had overkill and piercing, because when I was playing with her, what I've noticed is she is very weak against enemies that have the tough status card, and that's for me. That's what I think about this. I was like, I like it. I think it's a little expensive, because or else it's just 7 damage if you don't have the death glow. I don't think this one should have attached the death glow. I think that is fine to attach it, because again, you're going to be wanting to get the overkill. You'll want to be attaching the death glow to a minion, so that's fine. I think everything is fine. I think it should have had piercing. Add the piercing, makes this card a hell of a lot better. Mechanically, costly, everything would have been a little bit better. Because technically, if you have a hand size of 5, you attach the death glow, and then you pay for this. You have your hand is done, and then you get to ready and do something else. So there you go. So I don't mind it. Like I said, I have a little bit of a problem with the card, but not like to the point where like, oh my god, this card's garbage. Not like the Shield Maiden. I think the Have at Thee is an okay card. It's not a great card. A great card would have been with that piercing. Would have made it a great card. But yeah, so her event attacks, there's only 3 in her kit. All right, so that takes care of that. Now let's take a look at the signature aggression cards that are coming around with her kit. Now, the first one is called the Best Defense. So the Best Defense is a 0-cost defense event, hero interrupt defense, which kind of weird. When your hero defends against an attack. All right. Use its attack instead of its defense for this attack. So this is not bad. Now, when you're so the heroes that can go up to like 4 attack, like 3 attack, 4 attack. This is actually pretty cool for Hulk, when you can bring him up to like an attack of 5. You defend for 5 with that. There's ways to increase that with the brute force and stuff like that, and you can give him like a higher attack. So there's ways to kind of combo this off. I did try to play that last time. I think it's going to play better with Thor, just because of the discarding your hand. It just makes things like that a little bit more complex with Hulk to give him more events. But I think the Best Defense is a cool new card, and it opens up these high attack synergies for aggression. Like you can do stuff with your high attack. All right, so best defense, again, it's a good card. In all of the in all the aggression games I've played with her so far, I played like 7 or 8. I've used it none. I haven't used it once. Because again, even with her Dragon Fang, she gets an attack of 3, she gets an attack of 4. I'd rather attack for 4 than defend for 4 any day of the week, especially that there's no real reason in her kit to exhaust and defend. That being said, I think the best defense is going to be a good card for other characters, but for her, it didn't make a lot of sense because you don't want her to be exhausted all the time. She needs to be up and attacking. All right, so best defense, again, it's like I think this is the weakest aggression card in the kit. This one though, Smash the Problem. I do love this card because this makes you these characters with low thwart values and high attacks very, very solid in aggression. So Smash the Problem. You have an attack of 4 or 5. Wow. But remember, you can't play a skilled strike to increase your attack to 6. So if you're using Smash the Problem, you have to exhaust your hero. Again, I don't mind that because, most of the time, if you have a big thwarting problem, you can deal with minions, you can deal with, damage-wise, aggression has no problem. Threat-wise, it's a lot of an issue. So Smash the Problem is a good way to remedy that. It only costs 1, and you can remove up to 4, maybe even 5 threat, depending on the character you got. So that is, I think it's very cool. If you're using the card Brute Force, again, but then you need characters that don't really want to attack a lot. So this, you can actually increase your attacks because it's not limited by 1. So you can increase your attack up to 3, which is kind of what the synergy I was going to do with the Hulk deck. But you can do it with Thor because Thor has a lot of attack events without him having to actually attack. So you can actually pump up Thor to like a 6 or a 7. And then you can Smash the Problem. You can perfect defense. You can do a lot of cool things, which is what I was trying to do with Hulk. But it just didn't really work out. All right, but I'm going to make it work. I'm going to figure out a way to make that deck work with Hulk, with the Brute Force. All right, so Smash the Problem, great addition to aggression. Great way to use high attack value to remove threat. I think it's super solid. Big thumbs up. Quick Strike, another aggression card, and this is an attack event. So what was interesting in the Valkyrie kit, in the precon that they give you, is you only have the 3 have-at-these and the 3 quick strikes as attack events. So I thought that was like, oh, okay. So that's why it feels weird when you're using cards like Smash the Problem and Best Defense because you're exhausting all the time. I think these cards would have been a good addition in another character that would have had an easier time. But again, there is ways around that for that precon to make it work. And we'll talk about that in a little bit later in the synergies that you can find in this deck. So Quick Strike is a 2-cost event. Attack, hero attack, deal damage to an enemy equal to your attack. Now again, if you have Dragon Fang equipped, you only get that +1. If you have the other one, the combat training, it gives you up to a +2. So you can actually just do 4 damage for 2, which is okay. It's not amazing. It's what a red card is on par. But again, once you start adding cards like Brute Force and Adrenaline Rush, and then you pop them all off, and then you have a +3 attack until the end of the turn, and then you go up to a 7 or 8, then cards like Quick Strike make a lot more sense. Again, I think Brute Force is a good combo with this card. But again, you have to kind of play into that where you're never going to really be attacking, using your basic attack for stuff. But again, that's a different strategy. That's the thing. It's an aggression. It's a different aggression strategy to really just use a high attack to do multiple things, which I like. So Quick Strike is a great card that you can use right here because then you're exhausted. What's cool about Quick Strike is so you have the Death Glow. You can attach the death glow, and then play quick strike. All right, boof, you can ready, and then you can use smash the problem, and then in the same turn. So there you go. You can be exhausted, kill a dude, ready with the death glow, and then poof, use that and then smash the problem. So there's some nice little combos you can do with that, especially with her death glow, which allows her to ready. And I think that's what you want to lean into when you're going to be playing the precon. And we'll talk about that a little bit in a little bit. And then finally, there's 2 new aggression allies. And these are the mighty Asgardian allies, Throg! The frog with the hammer. So he's a 2-cost ally. Great. 2 cost is great. He's got 1 thwart, 2 attack, both taking 1 consequence damage. He's an Asgard and a Guardian, which is super solid. And then response, after Throg enters play, give him a tough status card if you're engaged with a minion. Now, I love that. He comes into play, you have a minion engaged. You go get your Chooser of the Slain, put the minion. He gets a tough. My issue, again, with these cards is I want to use his toughness to block the boss. So I'm playing this ally and I'm not using him. I'm just putting him into play and I'm not doing anything with him. So I know it would have been kind of weird if he would like kind of do what Martyr does, like if he defeats a minion, give him a tough status card. I think it would have been cool though. Having an ally, he takes the consequence damage, boof, and then he gets a tough. He removes his tough, boom, takes the and then you have ways around it. So, he can block you, but at least he does something when he comes into play. So the fact that he doesn't do anything, I don't want to do anything with him when he comes into play, is what kind of bothers me about this ally. But again, if you're just using allies as blockers, you don't care, you have a minion, he comes into play with tough, and then he attacks, and then he blocks. So for 2, he's got 3 things he can do. Super solid. Super, super solid. The other thing is just me personally being a little quirky. And then we have Thor! Odin's son. All right, so remember, if somebody's playing Thor, God of Thunder, Odin's son, you will not be able to play this ally. So he's a 3-cost ally with 1 thwart, 1 consequence, 3 attack, 2 consequence, 3 health, Avenger and Asgard, toughness, so another guy who comes in with tough, and then interrupt. When Thor attacks a minion engaged with a player, you can spend a lightning resource and resolve this attack against each minion engaged with that player in the order of your choice, which is pretty cool. So he can, basically he lightning strikes everyone, just like in the movie, and he spreads his lightning. Now, again, my same issue here with Throg. He comes in with a tough. I want to use him to block the boss's attack, unless the boss can get piercing there. Or else he can actually do 9 damage in total. So he can attack and then take no consequence damage, just lose his tough, and then deal 3 damage to everything. Do it one more time, and then do it one more time. I think it's very, very cool. This is an ally that you actually want to keep into play for aggression, just as he's a board wipe. He's a player board wipe. Like, he can do that in front of everyone, which is fantastic. Thor is probably the strongest aggression ally right now. He's just super solid. Imagine if somebody plays him with an honorary guardian, and then you put this spear on him, and then you resolve this attack against each minion. So he's got 5 attack. He's got let's say 5 attack, 6 attack. He can kill everything. It can just go crazy if you build Thor up. So Thor is one of those. Let's build Thor. Let's have a party with Thor in our build. So that, I think, for me is super, super solid when there's all these new combos that can pop off here. But think about it. Honorary Guardian on him with an energy spear. He attacks for 5 on everything in front of someone. This is just insane multiplayer value off the chains. Off the chains multiplayer value. Thor here. Insane. All right, and then we got a couple other events here. Here's a cool new event. It's called Godlike Stamina. It is a zero cost basic card. An event, you can only play if your identity has the Asgard trait. That bothers me, and I'm going to tell you why. Action, heal 2 damage from your identity. You may discard a status card from your identity. Why is this not Asgard or Gamma? This should have been a Hulk card. A million times this should have been a Hulk card. How many frustrated Hulk players would have that, would be satisfied by this? Godlike stamina. Like, come on, guys. This was 100% an opportunity to make Hulk great again. And it just aggravates me that it's not happening. It's just, how many times do you play Hulk and you get stunned and you're like, ah! And then they create this card and they say, nah, Hulk, not for you, Hulk. So there you go. So again, I love the card. It's just annoying that it's only good for like 2 characters. So it's good for Valkyrie and it's good for Thor. And I'm like, is there any other Asgardian characters that we have? No, I don't think so. So hopefully that's like a clue in the future. Maybe we're gonna get more Asgardian characters. So hopefully that can happen. Because right now this card is only good for 2 characters. All right, which is kind of like the Mystic, like Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. There's there's 3 Mystics now. So there you go. So it's still good. It's still a great card. And then finally, I love this new card. It is called the Bifrost. But again, it is limited to a few characters. But the Bifrost is a 1-cost support, Asgard location. So again, you can play that with your, what's his face there? Team building exercise. And then action, exhaust the Bifrost, search your deck for an Asgard ally, and play it. Just using you just pay the cost. So if you watch the video of my playthrough with this, you'll see, I forget what deck I just abuse of this card. Oh, it's in the aggression deck. I just abuse of all the Asgard allies and just go and fetch Heimdall over and over, fetch Lady Thor, fetch Throg, fetch everyone. Just like, bam, I'm just going to go get my friends. I love this card. And what's cool about it is you can actually do it while you're in Alter Ego as well. So that is cool. You can only play it if you have the Asgard trait, but you can trigger it if you are in Alter Ego, which is fantabulous. And that wraps up the aggression card. So here's a little couple of tips and strategies here. So when you're playing the Precon, you can attach the Death Glow, you can attack an enemy, you can ready after that. Don't bother attaching the Death Glow to the villain unless it actually serves a purpose. Like if you have Valhalla and you can defeat him, if you have Dragon Fang, you can defeat him, and only attach it to the villain if you plan on flipping to Alter Ego so you can detach it from the villain. So there you go. So that's the big help pointer here for that. The Death Glow has to be used very, very smart, or else you're going to be in trouble. All right? Because as soon as you attach that to the villain, you're stuck. You have to go to Alter Ego to get rid of it. Hence why my little complaint with the cards like Chooser of the Slain and Shield Maiden, which would have given you a lot more interactions with the Death Glow in hero form. All right, aside from that, all right, so once you do, you defeat the ally, you get to ready, or you can, let's say you have the Death Glow and then you can exhaust something else, and then you can use an ability to ready. What I like about the Death Glow is it readies you when you defeat minions. The problem with her Precon deck is you get exhausted way too much for doing other things. So smash the problem. So if you smash the problem, it's great. But if you have no other way to ready, you're not doing damage. So you're doing one, but you're not doing both. Or you have to time it where, okay, I'm gonna smash the problem because that's a big issue. Then I'm gonna spend one to equip Death Glow. Then I'm gonna use Quick Strike to able to ready, and then be able to do something else and exhaust. So again, there's a lot of resources that are needed to do a lot of things, and she doesn't come with extra resources. So that is a big thing in her kit that is kind of like, it bothers me for her precon. That's why I went on a rant. I was saying, is this the worst precon since what was the other worst precon that I really didn't like? I really didn't like the Star-Lord precon because I just like it was just bothering me so much. All these expensive cards and nothing. But this, I was just like, why is there no ways to remove threat? It was just so complicated to just remove threat with her, and it just bothered me. So there you go. So that was my little rant here. All right, so let's look at some of the bonus cards that she is coming up with. This I love. It is a 1-cost preparation upgrade for Black Widow. Is super happy, and anybody actually playing protection that gets exhausted a lot. This is a fantastic card. It is what protection needed. Extra ways to ready. So 1-cost upgrade, anticipation, max 1 per player. So again, that's the only thing is like 1 per player, but it is a hero interrupt. When you engage a minion, discard this preparation, ready your hero. Love it, love it, love it. So, and again, the great Hawkeye art on it too is super, super solid. Love this new protection card for a couple of different characters. Then Problem Solvers. This is the new Justice Alliance card. Now remember, Alliance, when you're playing in multiple players, anybody can pay for this card. So that's fine. You can have the Alliance card in your hand, and then anybody can pay for it. And the Alliance is a thwart event, hero action thwart. Now just remember, even though if you are confused and you are playing this card, this will remove your confusion. All right? So you got to make sure that you are not confused when playing this card. It is Alliance, hero action thwart, exhaust an Avenger and a Guardian character. You don't even have to use your characters on your board. You can use an Avenger and a Guardian from anyone's play. Remove X threat from each scheme. Each scheme. It's crazy. Where X is equal to the combined thwart of those characters. Brian and Brant and myself, we did a video last week. We had an idea, and we're doing it again tonight, which tonight is Friday. So you if you see this tomorrow, go watch this video where we use Star-Lord and we have a souped up Iron Man, and then we're removing like 9 threat from all the side schemes. It is just craziness. Problem Solvers. This is a game changer in multiplayer. Definitely you should run 3 of this as long as there's a Guardian on the table and an Avenger on the table. You should be running 4 of these. It's insane. It is game changing for multiplayer Problem Solvers. All right, the next one we got is the Leadership Training, which is a 1-cost support card. Leadership Training, maximum 2 per deck, uses 2 training counters, alter ego action. Exhaust this card and remove a training counter. Choose a Leadership blue event card in your discard pile and shuffle it into your deck. This screams strength in numbers. Make the call. All right, I've used up my 3. I used up my 3 strength in numbers. All right, I'll just pay this. I'll shuffle the strength in numbers in. I needed to use them as resources as first because I didn't have any allies. But now that I have my allies, all right, I'm gonna flip down, use this, get my strength in numbers, shuffle up. All right. Perfect. Next turn, get my strength in numbers, combo off. This is just a crazy good combo card for strength in numbers deck. It is just so good. Or even Avengers Assemble once you have all your things. Or any good aerial event. Or even if you're healing your allies and you're playing with like All for One. Not All for One. Is it As One or All for One? I can't remember what it is there. The one that heals for the stage number. Anyway, so those are all cards you can shuffle back in depending on what strategy you're using. This, it's a great gem. I love all the training ones. They're all amazing. And then finally, the last one we're presenting is the 3-cost event, the Cosmic Alliance. Again, Alliance. The players can pay this card as a group, which is excellent. Hero action, choose an Avenger and a Guardian and ready those characters. You ready 2 characters for a 3-cost that can be spread out with the group. And that's just great. That is just a fantastic idea what we can do. All right. So here we go. Let's go see what the rest Okay. Here we go. Cosmic Alliance. And now let's go look at some of the bad cards. All right. Trouble in Outer World. All right, so this is the obligation. This makes perfect sense. Give to the Brumhilde player. And Valkyrie cannot attack with the Death Glow attached. Now, it does not say you may switch forms. It does not say that. I got caught when I was doing the Monica Rambeau one. I forgot to read that part, which is super important because you're so used to getting your obligation and then flipping and exhausting that if you don't RTFC, read the card, you're going to get caught by this and you're going to misplay it. So you give it to the player. Valkyrie cannot attack the enemy with the Declo attach. Alter Ego again, which is fine. I don't mind. An obligation is fine. Go to Alter Ego, spend a lightning and a mental, remove Trouble in Outworld from the game. So I don't mind for your obligation that you have to flip down. I do mind a lot of the other cards in her kit that force you to flip down to get some good value out of them. So that is one of the things I don't like. The other thing I don't like when your Nemesis is a complete auto fail. You cannot win this game. You might as well just scoop. So her Nemesis is the Enchantress. All right. So this is the first one that actually brings out, I don't know, that's not true. Venom was the first one who brings out actually every card from your Nemesis kit. But this one is 3 cards because normally it's just 2 cards from your Nemesis. It's that and your obligation. But let's read Enchantress, a minion with 2 scheme, 1 attack, Asgard, elite, 5 health. So, which means you can only kill her if you're playing aggression and you have the combat training. It says, when revealed, because she does get revealed when she comes in, search the encounter deck for the set-aside copy of Seduced and attach it to your identity. So Seduce, y'all remember what that does if you played the Mad Titan Shadow campaign. So against Loki, you get Seduce, attach your identity. You cannot make basic attacks or play attack events, which basically renders Valkyrie 100% useless. No attack events, no nothing. So that is super annoying. Alter Ego action, spend a lightning and a mental, discard. Now that would be fine. Okay, I can't do it. But herein lie the problem. The side scheme. Powerful enchantments. And this, again, is just a game ender, especially for a hero that only has a 1 thwart, and nothing in her kit has more than 1 threat removal. All of the allies have 1 threat removal. So powerful enchantments, it hinder 1, so it's 2 and then 1 per player. So 3, 4, 5, or 6 or 7. 2 or 6. 6 is the max. Players cannot discard attachments that are attached to friendly characters. Are you kidding me? So even though you are an alter ego when you get this, okay, so this is okay. So let's say you're an alter ego when you get Shadows of the Past. Okay, shoot. Okay, I'm just gonna detach this. Wrong. I have to flip the hero form. I have to find a way to remove the 3 threat that are here plus the acceleration. Then I have to flip back down next turn, pay 2 to discard. By that time, you've already lost the game. You've already lost the game. Because there is no way you're removing threat from here, threat from the main, with her that schemes for 2, with a villain that schemes for a minimum of 2 or 3. You're done in a solo game. That is a complete death sentence. All right? And then that's it. And then there's the other 2 cards. There's a second copy of Seduced. And then another card that we're used to in her Nemesis kit. Beguiled, which is treat the attached ally as an enthralled minion with a blank text box. He schemes equal to his printed thwart, and he does not. What does it say? Attached minion scheme is equal to his printed thwart, and it does not take consequence damage. What? What about his attack? Attached to the ally with the highest cost without beguiled. Attached, engages. Otherwise, this card gains surge. What? Attached minion schemes equal to its printed. What about the attack? Wait a minute. Let me go check the beguiled from the other one, from the other Enchantress. So he just schemes? I can't. I've never kept a minion that was enthralled before. And I just started reading this. I'm like, what? And it does not take schemes equal to its printed thwart and does not take consequence damage. So, okay. So he just schemes. So they don't even attack anymore. They just add threat, which is kind of weird. Okay. I did not understand that card until I completely read this. Attached minions scheme is equal to its printed thwart, and it does not take consequences. And does it never attacks you? All right, I'm gonna call in the rules gurus. I can't remember this. This is weird. That's just weird to me. All right, guys. Well, anyway, so again, everything that has to do with threat management here, which she does very little of. So all in all, after playing her a bunch of times, I was very underwhelmed with the character. I do like what she can do in aggression. I destroyed with leadership, but I think Valkyrie is just it's good. She's going to be a D-class hero in everyone's thing. She's going to be right beside Hulk, I believe, in a lot of these what's it called there? These rankings and these ratings. For me, I think she's okay, but again, she does have a lot of things that you really have to deck build around her. She is not very linear character where I can just... Well, that's not true. You can always just splash in a bunch of attack events and just go all in on damage, which can work. But aside from that, I think from looking at her pre-con deck, the pre-con experience, I tried it against... I just kept losing. I lost I think my first 12 or 13 games playing Valkyrie. I played against Expert Claw, Standard Claw, and even Expert Rhino, and I was like, man, I just kept getting my butt kicked. And it's always threat. It was always threat. It was never damage. It was always threat removal. That was my big issue with her. Well, anyway, so guys, this is my impression. This is my feedback. I think she's an okay hero. If you're gonna skip on any hero, I think this is probably a good one to skip, unless you really want the extra allies, Thor and Throg, which I think are the best cards in this deck. I do love the problem solvers in the deck, the leadership training. There's a few really, really good cards in this hero pack. Unfortunately, the hero itself is just mediocre, in my opinion. But again, that's up to you to decide. This is my opinion, and it's worth as much as, I care about. There you go. So you guys might have a different opinion. Player, let me know what you know in the comments, and we'll see you guys on the next videos. Can't wait to get my hands on the Vision, to really have some fun there with him. I can't wait for Vision Bring It. Intangible Bring It. It's going to be crazy. I'm just stacking minions, drawing 15 cards. I can't attack. Anyway, I already have plans for Vision. But anyway, so Valkyrie is it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video will help you play Valkyrie, understand her mechanics, and help you beat the game. Good night.